Brazil's COVID-19 outbreak is worsening by the day. The country has recorded its highest number of daily deaths from the virus, some 3,000 victims. The milestone came as President Jair Bolsonaro installed his fourth health minister since the pandemic began. Brazilians are increasingly angry, but Bolsonaro says vaccines are on the way.
Brazil's grave diggers have never been busier. With reports of overflowing morgues, they cannot bury the dead fast enough. Families given little time to process their grief. We are in a situation that affects the whole world, and no one has so far been able to contain it. Only the United States has paid a higher price. Under fire, President Jair Bolsonaro tried to soothe public anger in a TV address. I want to calm down the Brazilian people and to assure you that the vaccines are guaranteed. By the end of the year, we will have more than 500 million doses to inoculate all the population. Very soon, we will return to normal life. My sympathy goes out to all of you who have losses in your families. But as he spoke to the people, they pounded their pots and pans in protest. From the windows and balconies of Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo and beyond, they made their feelings heard. Some chanting Bolsonaro out. Even amongst the vaccinated, the frustration at the government's handling of the pandemic runs deep. I really believe that we are as we are because everything was very badly managed since the beginning. I never imagined living in a country where the President of the Republic is in denial, so that made everything difficult for everyone. Vaccination has to be faster. A lot of people are dying, they are very sick. Meanwhile, Pan-American leaders are warning that exploding case numbers in Brazil are causing the virus to spread faster in neighbouring countries.
Yes, the dire situation in Brazil. I'm joined now by Matias Ebert. He's a correspondent based in Rio de Janeiro. Good evening to you, Matias. The story we just saw hints that public opinion is turning against President Jair Bolsonaro. Is that happening?
We see that Bolsonaro is suffering more and more critics here in Brazil. Yesterday, the pot-hitting protests were heard everywhere in these neighborhoods here in Rio de Janeiro and in Sao Paulo. So the critics are a lot, but on the other hand, I have to say that 1/3 of the population still is supporting Bolsonaro. Surveys show that these 30% or a little bit more, they also agree with Bolsonaro's policy towards Corona. So they do this in spite of the high death toll.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this play out before in the United States. I'm wondering, is it likely that Bolsonaro will rethink his anti-science response to the coronavirus?
Yesterday, in a television speech, he already had a much more moderate tone. He showed much more compassion with the victims and the families for the first time in this crisis, as I remember. And he wants to speed up as well the vaccination process and the campaign. This is also a change which had happened in the last 2 weeks. So he's trying to get more control of the crisis, but this comes late. The Bolsonaro health ministry recently had to admit that they are not able to provide millions of vaccination doses as they wished and as they promised in April.
And Matias, we want to let our viewers know you live in Rio de Janeiro. You live in a country where the pandemic is raging. It could become worse than it is in the United States. So what's it like right now living in Brazil?
I think there are two realities here who are really different from each other. On the one hand, the hospitals, the vaccination centers, as I'm here standing in front of, there you can see the crisis is going on in the hospitals. People are sometimes dying in front of the emergency rooms. So it's a really tough situation, the worst in this crisis. But on the other hand, many Brazilians are tired of this crisis, which is already lasting for 1 year. So they want to be be and to go back to normal life. They want to have work and jobs again, and this is the other reality. They go to the beaches and they do live as if it would be business as usual. These are the two realities here in Brazil in these days.
Matthias Ebert reporting tonight from Rio de Janeiro. Matthias, we appreciate your reporting. Stay safe. Thank you.